Do you see there's any national ramifications here, or should I say for the Liberal Party at a federal level, or is this just a New South Wales thing?
I think it's mainly for New South Wales, that's true. I think there is some heart that some of the Labor strategists have taken out of this, that it's early days for the Albanese government, but they did notice the overlap in some of the seats where Labor performed quite well, in fact gained swings of more than 10%, as some, if you like, in their view, reinforcement that the Albanese government is doing okay. I would err more to the view that it is really a state-based issue, and people voted on state issues here. That they really wanted a change, even though the Labor opposition didn't fully spell out what they were going to do.
It was a spectacularly lacklustre campaign. There were no attacks on one side or the other, and I think Labor did stumble into government. But what's the path now for the Liberal Party out of this mess? They're clearly divided. They've got the woke Liberals, they're threatened by the Teals, they've got the more ideologically driven right-wing Liberals. They've got pressure from One Nation, who's had a very good result, I think, particularly in the upper house. What's the path they need to go from here?
Well, I think they do need to clean up their act, in the sense that they certainly have to stop this internal bickering, which has factional bases, but you've got even people within, say, Dominic Perrottet's own faction who seem to want to squabble among themselves, even at a cost of putting themselves in opposition. And then, as you say, the left of the Liberal Party has their own issues. But I would say that this defeat, while bad for the coalition, and I'm writing this in The Australian for Monday, it's not a disaster. It's not a wipeout as it was for Labor in 2011. After all, it took Labor basically 12 years to come back, and even to claw back some of those seats in Western Sydney, the so-called Labor heartland that they thought was theirs. I think it is not as difficult a proposition for the Liberal Party in New South Wales, providing they can clean up their house. It's not a rout. Say if the Labor Party in New South Wales, once counting is finished, gets the 47 seats needed for an absolute majority, we know they'll do that. Then it's a matter of how many seats above that 47 they gain. Supposing they get 49, 50, maybe over 50, that's not out of reach for the Liberal Party if they get their act together to come back. Perhaps not in the next term, but it's all about building a base from there to come back.
And the key proviso, they've got to get their act together. Brad Norrington, senior political journalist with the Australian newspaper. I look forward to reading your column tomorrow, and thank you very much for your time on Bernardi Tonight.